You ever notice how history doesn't just repeat, it adapts? Because if you listen to people in 2025, right now, you'll hear them saying, "This isn't the Trump I voted for. I didn't know it would go this far." Sound familiar? Because if you've ever picked up a book about history, it should. It's not the first time people have said it, and we really need to talk about what that means. Because here's the thing. Yes, absolutely. There were Germans who said, "This isn't what I voted for," when Hitler fully seized power. But let's get specific so we don't miss the lesson. When Hitler came to power in 1933, he didn't run on a single clear promise of genocide and dictatorship. He ran on ending the economic collapse of the Great Depression, restoring German pride after the humiliation of World War I, punishing the corrupt political elites of the Weimar Republic, stopping communist revolution, and uniting true Germans. A lot of people supported those goals without signing up for what came next. Some of them literally said later on, of course, "We wanted jobs and stability. We didn't want war. We wanted an end to street violence, not book burnings. We voted for law and order, not camps," because they thought the radical parts were just talk. They assumed he didn't really mean it. Or they just figured it wouldn't touch them. But here's the truth they didn't want to face. Hitler told them exactly what he believed. He wrote Mein Kampf. He made no secret of his anti-Semitism. He promised to smash democracy. And he used fear and scapegoats from day one. So why did people convince themselves that it wouldn't go that far? Because they only wanted to believe the parts that benefited them. Because they hated the other just enough to look away. Because they thought they could control him. Because beating their enemies felt more important than protecting democracy. And when he took over, sure, some regretted it. Some said, "This isn't what I wanted," as freedoms vanished. Some tried to distance themselves, and some just went quiet. But by then, it was too late. He'd outlawed dissent, controlled the press, dismantled the system that could have stopped him. Now look at us. In 2025. Tell me it doesn't sound familiar. Because you've got people saying, "This isn't the Trump I voted for. I just wanted the economy strong. I just wanted the border under control. I didn't want camps." But let's be real, he told you who he was. He said immigrants were an invasion. He called the press an enemy. He praised dictators, refused to concede when he lost. He pardoned the people who stormed the Capitol for him. He said he'd be a dictator on day one. It was never subtle. You just didn't want to see it. And now we have actual camps in 2025. Alligator Alcatraz, a real detention camp in the Florida Everglades. Razor wire, surrounded by swamps and predators. Thrown up in 2 weeks to terrify migrants into leaving. Bragged about like it's a victory, sold to you as security. Is cruelty as policy, fear as branding, exactly as promised. So if you're saying this isn't what I voted for, ask yourself, which parts did you think were just for show? Which scapegoats did you decide were acceptable? Which warning signs did you ignore because you thought you'd never pay the price? Because that's how it always goes. People tell themselves that the violence is exaggerated, that the tough talk is just talk, that it's about keeping order, not taking freedom, until it's too late to stop. And by then, there's no voting it out. There's no easy way back. So no, I don't want to hear "this isn't what I voted for" as an excuse. Because history doesn't give free passes for willful ignorance. It gives warnings. And if y'all keep ignoring them, we're going to learn that same hard lesson all over again. That democracy doesn't die in a moment. It dies in a bargain. One that says as long as it benefits me, I'm going to look the other way. Until there's no one left to look. And no freedom left to save.